Get mantra and meditation MP3s at jasongallant.ca. A surprising thing that happens in this spiritual journey is that as one becomes humble, or at least a little humbled, a little humility really assists with this, because if you don't have humility, what you're saying is your experience, no matter how painful it is the truest experience. That's the power place of the ego. That's the power place of the mind. It says, I feel this, therefore I am. And I will come up with any story possible to maintain this, because at least I'm powerful in my suffering. This happens to everyone. This is not only one or two people in the world that experience this. This is really the wrestling match that begins when the ego starts to sense it's being threatened. So one thing that is really neat is that when one entertains the possibility of a more omniscient or grander point of view, then the experience of that moment evolves. A lot of you are noticing this when you meditate or when you do fire breath or bellows breath. Say you're doing some pranayama or you're chanting a mantra, and you notice that somehow from the beginning of your little practice and the end, that some experience shifted or changed, no matter how subtle. And once you realize that experiences can evolve and shift, you never take your suffering as seriously ever again. And what I mean by suffering, for those of you who don't know, is the self-imposed torture you put yourself through. Right? The emotional pain, the never-ending thinking, the depression, boredom, sadness that is self-imposed, right? This is all based on an idea, and you perpetuating the story and then recreating it over and over again. That experience, once you entertain the possibility that it can evolve, it does. This is where you use your free will for freedom. A long time ago, before I ventured on the spiritual journey, I assumed that my experience, at least, maybe not my opinion, but my experience of the moment was objective. But it was not. There were all sorts of people in the same situation all over the place experiencing it much differently. So as you entertain just the possibility that there may be another way to experience this moment, it does. And then you start to venture on a very interesting journey. You start to expand an awareness of many different ways that you contribute to your suffering, and you start to let them go, kind of like pulling petals off a flower. Right? It's just one thing at a time. You start to just pluck away at, and you start to unravel the mechanism of suffering, that software that you had running the hard drive for so long. So no matter what you're feeling, no matter what suffering you're carrying into various moments of your life, always remember that Humility is the strongest weapon. It's the strongest weapon that allows evolution. It's not about being a person who is humble. It's just the nature of how letting go of something allows you to be free. Letting go of one point of view allows you to fall into the truer or truest point of view. So this is very profound. It's a concept that changed my life at some point when I realized that, wait a second, I'm sitting in the same chair, in the same room, doing the exact same thing, but my experience is totally changed from 10 minutes ago. Absolutely, totally different. Emotionally, mentally, physically even. Because as you shift the mind and allow emotions to do whatever they're doing or feelings to move around, you'll notice that the body also evolves. States of suffering that were held in the body suddenly are gone. This can happen. And it's so difficult for people who are beginning on the spiritual path because they underestimate the density of their point of view. They underestimate how seriously they take it. So approach all your spiritual practices with an open mind and a receptive heart, and drop all the shoulds you have around what you should experience or what you should be or what you should be doing. Just allow life to reveal itself, because spiritual work just turns up the volume on life so that you can more easily receive it. The rest takes care of itself. So I hope this helps you on your spiritual journey. Take care for now. Are you interested in working with a spiritual teacher in a formal setting? Well, perhaps the Wisdom Life School is for you. If you're interested in checking out what the Wisdom Life School is all about, just go to aratima.com.